What's up, everyone? George Lehman here with MuscleMasochist.com. Another question that a lot of people ask me, what kind of progress can I expect? Because I know natural gains can only be made so fast, and I know, you can only expect to gain, whatever, 5 pounds a month on your bench, or a quarter pound of muscle a week if you're bulking really hard or something like that. I don't know where exactly these studies came from that dictate how fast you can gain muscle. I don't know how they found a cap on those studies. I don't know how they decided, that everyone can do this and no one can do better. How much muscle you can gain is going to be extremely dependent on, you. It's going to be dependent on your age and how hard you train and what you're training specifically. Powerlifters are probably going to gain more muscle than ice skaters. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that. It has a lot to do with hormone levels. It has a lot to do with genetics. It has a lot to do with diet. It has a lot to do with, just not getting hurt. Like, some people have genetically bad backs. Chances are they're not going to gain as much muscle as someone who doesn't have a bad back and trains just as hard, etc. I can't stand whenever people put caps on that kind of shit. I get people all the time. I'll talk to people in my gym that will tell me that there is you can only gain whatever it is, a pound of muscle a month if you're training really hard. That's like the limit. And the only thing I have to say to that is, I've seen people do way better than that shit. I've seen people do way, way, way better than a fourth pound a week, whatever the fuck it is. And then of course there's always the we're counting dry weight. We're not counting water. We're not counting carbs. We're not counting, whatever, salt, fucking creatine. And okay, I don't even know what that means really. What does muscle mass weigh without water and stuff like that? I don't know. Are we talking about beef jerky? Because I guess technically they might be saying that the average person can gain 2 pounds of muscle a week, but a pound and a half of that will be water or something like that. Which I always factored water into my lean body mass. I never really separated the two. So my take on that is it fucking varies on the kind of gains you can make. Not everyone's going to make the same gains. People really should not be limiting themselves and telling themselves how fast they can make gains, though, I'll tell you that much. I think the average person on a bulk who's training hard and is, capable, able to train hard, able to squat, deadlift, whatever, all that kind of shit, they can push themselves, they don't have a bad shoulder, a bad knee, etc., should be probably gaining half pound to a pound a week, sometimes more depending on what's going on. If you're doing some kind of scheduled overtraining or something like that, then I don't see a problem with eating, enough calories to have you gain a few pounds that week. If you just trained, if you did 3 weeks of Smolov or something like that, by all means, shoot for a 10-pound body weight gain over those 3 weeks. In general, though, with typical progressive overload on people who are trying to go from, say, 150 pounds lean to 250 pounds lean, you probably don't want to go a whole lot faster than around a pound a week on average, because 50 pounds a year is a lot. It's a lot of weight to gain, especially naturally. It's a shit ton of weight to gain. And people shouldn't really be trying to rush it so much, considering you're probably going to be your biggest in 10 years or something like that, assuming you don't get hurt. And you have 10 years to go from 150 to 250. There's, rushing it and doing it in 1 year or 2 years, you're just going to end up fatter than you would have been had you done it slower. I find obviously being heavier makes people lift more. You recover faster if you gain 2 pounds a week versus a half pound a week. But in general, I find that there's very little difference between people at a 500 calorie over maintenance diet versus a 1,000 calorie over maintenance diet in terms of strength gained. Because one person's, gaining, whatever, 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds a week. The other person's gaining maybe 1 pound a week. And there's really not a whole lot of difference, except for, over a year's time, there might be, a few pounds added to the total difference. Maybe 25 or 50 pounds more per lift per year or something like that in my experience. If I got someone to a 400-pound bench, their friend who's just eating everything in sight, who gained an extra 30 pounds more than them that year, might be shooting for 440 or 450 or something like that. I've done it. There is a means to where eating more just isn't helping. Your body already has enough of what it needs to make gains, and the rest is just going to fat. However, that still does not set a limit on how fast gains can be made, because I've watched people gain a pound while getting leaner. Another thing that most people ask me about, can you do that? Can you get stronger? Can you get bigger while dieting? Yes, you can get bigger and stronger. Well, excuse me, not necessarily actually bigger, because technically dieting is, you know, weighing less, right? But you can lose fat while gaining muscle. Like, tons of people have done that shit. And another thing that people are going to tell me is impossible. Science says this, science says that. You can only gain a 1/4 pound of muscle and you can't gain muscle while, you know, losing fat. It's fucking not doable without drugs, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes it is. If you take a 300-pound person who doesn't train as a big tub of shit, they bench 90 pounds or something, over a year's worth of training they might bench 225 and they might weigh 250. If you're trying to tell me that they didn't gain any muscle, you're just fucking, like, you're kidding yourself. Like, why would you even tell yourself that? I think a lot of times people just limit themselves. They tell themselves what's possible so that they can justify lack of results. You can only gain a 1/4 pound of muscle a week, therefore the fact that I didn't gain any weight this week is okay. Or that I only gained a 1/4 pound a week, maybe it was just like super lean. No, like, you can gain more than a 1/4 pound of muscle a week, not necessarily every week because it's not linear, but like, you shouldn't be shooting for a pound a month weight gain. It's not like fucking, it's silly to do. Always shoot for a little bit more than you intended to gain. And then try and lean it out with higher reps and higher volume and fucking, you know, more frequency and stuff like that. I very rarely have clients eat less when dieting. I often have them eat a little bit more than they were eating and just have them train harder. And what ends up happening is they end up usually, almost always, getting stronger, gaining size, and either maintaining weight, gaining a little weight, or losing a little weight and being much better off than they were. Just recently, I even posted pictures. I've posted lots of pictures of clients gaining weight naturally while losing fat. And what usually happens is people go, bullshit, they were on drugs, or you're just lying. I stopped posting people's progress. I used to post people's progress on my Facebook all the time. I used to post clients' progress like fucking every day almost. And I had so many people angry at the results I was claiming. Mind you, I'm referencing a person. I'm oftentimes showing pictures or videos, and people would still say it's lies. And the fact is, people just limit themselves. Stop reading shit, start doing shit, and see what's possible for you. Don't tell yourself you can only gain a 1/4 pound of muscle a week, because you'll probably set yourself up to not even gain that. You'll probably set yourself up to fuck that shit up. That just sounds depressing if you ask me, honestly. So yeah, it's bullshit. You can definitely gain muscle while losing fat. And it's the amount of muscle you can gain is different for fucking everybody. It's not the same. It's not the same from, you know, a girl as it is a guy. It's not the same for a 13-year-old as it is for a 50-year-old. It varies like a shitload. And anyone trying to tell you like what the limit is, what the cap is full of crap. I'd like to know like what that study actually studied. Like, did they study like a wide range of like bodybuilders who were like, you know, training really hard and shit and eating right and stuff? Probably not. Like, I highly doubt it. But they probably studied like a group of fucking like old men or some shit who had never worked out before and didn't change their diet at all. And now they can tell people how fast muscle can be gained. Just, it's fucking silliness if you ask me. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to check out musclemascus.com for approved products, apparel, coaching, and stuff like that. And stick around for more. We're going to do more videos every day. Thanks guys.